Hey guys, my name is Francisco Hernandez, and today I'm doing another episode in my Building the Shot series. If you're new to the channel or just not familiar with what this series is, it's basically a step-by-step tutorial on how I created an image that I'm going to be highlighting in every single episode. I'm going to do my best to explain as much as I can about the photo, and for today's video, we're going to be going over this image on the screen right here of my new friend and Las Vegas model, Zadie. I took this photo last week in Vegas at an event called Epic Photoshoot 2019 in Nelson Ghost Town, I believe it's called. And it was the same week as WPPI, so there was a lot of photographers there. There was a lot of models, and there was actually a lot of free food for a while too. So it was a very fun time. I highly recommend that you guys go next year when it happens, and it's gonna be called Epic Photoshoot 2020, of course. But for now, let's go ahead and just move that image off the screen for a second so we can talk about a couple of other things first, like the fact that I already did a couple of other videos for this series. So in case you guys wanna find out how I took the images that are on the screen right now, those images, you can do so by checking the description area below. I'll leave links to all the videos there. Or if you just want to check out a playlist where all these videos will be, you can check out the top right corner of the screen, right there. There's gonna be a link to the playlist. You can watch the videos there. I usually make text-based versions of these tutorials first that I share on both my Instagram at FJHphoto. You guys can follow me there to see a lot of educational content. Or I share them in my Facebook lighting group called Learn to Light and Off-Camera Flash Lighting Community. I tend to share a lot of things there about sales on lighting, tutorials, and pretty much anything involved with photography or lighting. So you guys can check out my Instagram, again at FJHphoto, or my lighting group to find out pretty much anything that I'm doing in regards to lighting or taking pictures. I've been asking you guys feedback on how I can make this video series better, and one thing that you guys let me know that you want to know about is the camera, the lens, and the lighting decisions. And I definitely want to go ahead and do that from now on because I definitely have reasons for the gear that I chose. So right now I'm going to go over the camera and the lens before I go over the lighting. When it comes to the camera choice, I pretty much always go for my Sony a7R III just because I like all the megapixels that it offers, the ability to crop if I need to, and all that resolution that you have to work with editing. But when it comes to the lens choice, it was actually one that I made on the spot right there because I pretty much always go for my Sony 85 1.8 lens. It's a great portrait lens that doesn't cost a lot, maybe like $550. And I've been shooting with that lens for a couple months now. But at that photo shoot, there was another photographer by the name of Ruben Gorjan that had his Sigma Art 105 1.4 for Sony E-mount. And I actually own that lens and shot with it a couple of times, but I just don't bring it whenever I travel because it's heavy. However, when I found out that he had that lens, I had to ask him if I could just borrow it for a couple of shots. And I ended up using it and taking that shot that I'm gonna be going over today. And I really liked it. As I just mentioned before, I don't bring my own Sigma Art 105 1.4 whenever I travel, but I wanna just really get that through and emphasize that. So I'm gonna go ahead and just show you the two different setups that I use, the a7R III with the 85 1.8 and the a7R III with the Sigma Art 105 1.4. So here's the two different setups that I just mentioned, the Sigma Art 105 with the a7R III versus the 85 1.8 with the a7R III. You guys can see the size differences, but you can't feel the weight differences. I'm feeling it very much. So if I had to shoot for a long time, I would go for the 85 1.8, but for a couple of shots, I probably will still bring this setup here because it honestly does have a unique look and I really like that look. So that was the camera and the lens choices, but now I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the lighting because lighting is very important and I had specific reasons on all the different lighting gear that I brought. This is the light that I always use whenever I travel because it's a perfect combination of power and portability. It's the Godox AD400 Pro, also known as the Explorer 400 Pro by Adorama, and it has a lot of power, like I said before, 400 watts of power. And it's very portable. I can actually take off this battery to make it even smaller, and it fits perfectly inside my Peak Design 20L backpack. It actually has a nice bright modding lamp as well. This is only 10%, and this is perfect for previewing the light in a studio setting, or in the night setting, you can actually use this modding lamp to kind of just take the photos at night. It's perfect for getting exactly a preview of what's going on. You can actually see exactly how the light's gonna fall. And actually, we did do one photo shoot at night last week, and I'm gonna go ahead and just throw an image on the screen that my friend and photographer Eli Infante took. It's a beautiful image and he used nothing but this modding lamp to take this shot. I highly recommend the Godox AD400 Pro because like I said before, it's powerful, it's portable, and it has that bright modding lamp that you can use for even video or photos at night because it's gonna be perfect for that situation. When it comes to the modifier, I use the Glow Easy Lock 34-inch beauty dish with the white interior with 2 diffusion panels on it for that extra soft light. I highly recommend that modifier because it's not that expensive. I think it's around $79, maybe $69. It uses Bowen's mount, it's very sturdy, and it's also not too big. It's only 34 inches, and although initially, before I got that modifier, I thought that was gonna be not the softest light, once I got it, I felt like it was a perfect combination of being not too big, but still providing that nice soft light. So I highly recommend that modifier. One thing that you guys ask me about a lot is how I mount my Godox AD400 Pro onto my Surae monopod, which is this one right here. And it's as simple as having this little attachment on top that will allow me to mount the light, the Godox AD400 Pro, onto the monopod. And it's actually like a $5 attachment that I bought on Amazon, I want to say 3 years ago. So if you just look on Amazon under light spigot, I'll leave a link to it in the description area below so you guys can check it out. But yeah, it's honestly, you know, I think that I won't be able to take it off because I just don't feel like I have the energy right now. But you can go ahead and just take it off the monopod in case you want to use your camera on the monopod as intended. But in case you want to make any of your monopods that you have right now into a portable boom pole, you can go ahead and just buy this attachment. It's like $5 on Amazon. I'll leave a link to it in the description area below. All right, so now that we're done talking about the gear, let's go ahead and talk about how I created the photo itself, which is again, this one on the screen right here of my friend and model from Las Vegas, Zadie. And to give you guys a little bit more of a context on how, you know, the things that were going through my head, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up Lightroom and show you guys all of the photos that led up to that shot, and also give you a little bit of context about everything that was going on. Okay, so what you can see right here is my friend and photographer Eli taking photos of Zadie before I went ahead and started to take photos of her. As I mentioned earlier before, we were at an event called Epic Photoshoot 2019 at Nelson Ghost Town, and a lot of photographers were there, and I was with a group of around 4 photographers, and we were just taking pictures of Zadie and just kind of just taking turns. This was the setup that they were using, which is 2 mag boxes with 2 Godox AD200s each on each of those setups. And it's not a bad setup, but I have a kind of a idea of what I want in mind. So when it came to my turn to shoot, I didn't want to use that setup. I didn't want them at that distance. I didn't know what powers they were at. So I wanted to go ahead and just use my setup, which again was that portable setup of the Godox AD400 Pro with the 34-inch beauty dish with the Surae monopod that I believe Eli was holding after he was done shooting. So again, this was the setup that was there, but I wanted to do something else with my setup. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the straight out of camera shots that I took in that spot with my setup, and then show you guys the behind the scenes of that setup. So let me go ahead and just show you guys some of the photos first. Luckily, I was able to take a shot without any sort of lighting. This is all natural light right here. It was very bright that day, but the sunlight was kind of just, you know, it was kind of hiding and then showing up, hiding and showing up. So I didn't want to kind of take a shot and not have any sort of rim light. So I had Ashley hold a Godox AD200 with the round head in the back there, just in case the sun just, you know, went ahead and just hid when I was taking a shot. But you can actually see her shadow on the bottom there. So this is something that you could probably clone out in case you wanted it to be gone. Let me go ahead and just show you guys some of the shots I took there. So this is just natural light. This is with the lighting, and you can actually see a shift in the color balance. Not the color balance, but the color temperature. So if you wanted to just match them, you can go ahead and do so. I have the raw file here. I actually do like the warmth of the shot here, so I would probably leave it like that. But let me go ahead and just show you guys, you know, I guess a little bit about why I didn't edit these shots yet. For one, you can see that if the light was lower, then I would have had a catch light. But where it is right now, there's no catch light in her eyes. I actually do have a shot with catch light, like one of them. So what I usually do in post, if I want catch lights, but I didn't get them in the shot that I'm gonna be editing, is I'll go ahead and look for a shot in that same setup area and take the catch light from there and then put it to that shot that I want to edit. So this is a great pose that she has. She was really rocking the poses and stuff. You can actually see like the rim light from the sun, and you can also again see Ashley's shadow in the back there. But again, these were different shots. I actually do like one of these shots a lot. I think it's the one with the star in the bottom there. She was laughing. There was a couple of photographers in the area that were just kind of just having fun, and she was laughing, so I wanted to capture that. But again, she got it back in that serious mode and started taking some shots. And this is the shot I liked. So after I take a shot that I like, I throw a behind the scenes there. So this is the behind the scenes setup of the shot. You can actually see how steep of an angle the light is, and you can see that I didn't use those other setups in front. When it was my turn, I just took a couple steps ahead of that setup and just, you know, added my setup and started taking photos. But when I took these shots and I liked them, you know, I really liked this shot. I like the fact that the mountains in the back there. But what I was really liking is these cactuses on the side there. The colors of them, I immediately kind of just imagined how they would look like as a blurry background. And I like the colors of them. So one quick note about those cactuses is that they're really, really dangerous. They actually, if you get close enough to them, they will actually shoot out little needles and you can actually get really, really hurt. So I didn't want to get too close to them, but I knew because I had the Sigma Art 105 1.4, the compression that I was going to get with that lens was going to be perfect in having it in the background, but just not getting too close to the model, to those cacti. So I wanted to go ahead and just show you guys some of the shots I took first. So this is a shot that I want you guys to really focus on the lighting, because of course you can see the octoboxes in the corner there, but try not to focus on that. Try to focus on how the light's falling on her. This is a shot that I don't like specifically because of how the light is falling on her. You can see that in this very next shot, I want you guys to focus on the shadows. From this shot and the next one, the shadows are more shifted to the side of her nose, camera left. So try to focus on that real quick. And you can see that there's a shift in how much depth that there is. In other words, she pops out a bit more when the light's shifted a little bit to the side. So that's typically why I always have the light a little bit at an angle to the side, because it kind of makes them pop more. So I'm gonna show you guys a couple more photos from this setup here. Again, she was really rocking it, and I like the cactus in the background, the cacti in the background. So I kind of wanted to get a little bit more sky. So I kind of just, got a step back and got at a lower angle and showed the sky a little bit. But I felt like it was just a little bit too distracting. I wanted more a unified background. So after this shot, I got closer to get, very detailed shot of the makeup and a close shot, because I was using the Sigma Art 105 1.4, and I wanted to really blur that background and see how it looked like. So I took this shot. Again, I really like this photo. Took a couple more, realized I was cutting off her hand and took a step back. And then I took a little bit further step back, got 2 shots of her blinking. Yep, 2 shots of blinking. And then I took this shot and I really liked it. But what you can see is that there's not a lot of space on the right side of her. And I was thinking again of Instagram crop, which is 4:5. So I knew there's gonna have to be a little bit of a crop in case I wanted to post this photo to Instagram. So I needed a little bit off to the side. So after I took this shot, I wanted to extend that side a bit. So I told her to stay still, and I took another shot of just the background. The purpose of this next shot was just to get that background. But she gave me a really, really nice pose and expression. So I ended up using this shot, and to get a little bit more of that left side, I just used that previous shot to kind of just extend that image to the side. And again, the whole reason of wanting to take those 2 different shots was because Instagram crops it a bit from the top and the bottom, and I wanted to just make sure that it fit perfectly in an Instagram post. Again, this is the straight out of camera shot. There's no editing or anything involved in this shot right now. So I really liked her expression, her pose, the way that the light was falling, the catch lights, the level of ambient in the background. So I chose this shot to edit. And let me just go ahead and show you guys the behind the scenes shot, which is that one right here. You can see Eli just kind of wandering off. And one thing that you guys ask me about a lot is how I figure out the power level of the light whenever I post. And one thing that I have the ability to do is, since I shoot with the Sony a7R III with 42 megapixels, sometimes I have the ability to just zoom in and see the power level of the light. So you can actually see that it's at, once it's done loading, yeah, it's at half power if you just kind of focus a little bit and see it. And if you guys do the math, simple math, I could have used the Godox AD400 at full power at the same distance and gotten the exact same result. So I didn't need the AD400 Pro at the 400 watt power that it offers. So you just kind of keep that in mind. So by having the light very close, you get a couple of benefits. You get really nice soft light. You don't need to use the power at full power, probably, because this was the AD400 Pro at half power. The Godox AD200 would be at full power. But again, you don't need to use it at higher outputs than if it was further away. You also get the benefit of using the battery a lot more efficiently. So since the Godox AD400 Pro was only at half power, you're gonna get more shots out of it than if it was at full power. And you also get faster recycle times, in case you guys care about that. I tend to shoot very slowly, so it's something that's not really important to me. I almost forgot to take a photo without any lighting on so you guys can see how different it was, but I immediately remembered as soon as I was about to walk away, so I asked her to stay there. It wasn't the exact same composition, but this is the shot without any lighting with the exact same exposure settings. So in case you guys want to see that, that's how the shot would look like without any lighting at all. And actually, I wanted to show you guys how the Godox AD200 with the round head would look like very close to her. It's obviously not going to be as soft as the 34-inch Beauty Dish with the double diffusion, and it's actually why I use that setup, because of that soft light. So here's the Godox AD200 with the round head, very, very close. It's not the softest light, but it's also not too harsh. But that's how that shot looks like. I think I used it maybe at 1/8 power. When you start to remove diffusion, you utilize the power better. Adding diffusion is gonna make softer light, but it's also gonna waste a little bit of power as well. I made a video on diffusion in case you guys wanna check that out. You can do so by checking out the top right corner of the screen, right? Yeah, right there. All right, so like I said before, this is the shot straight at a camera, but what I wanna go ahead and do now is show you guys how the shot looked like in Photoshop and some of the editing that I did to the shot. If you guys have any questions about this photo that I didn't address in this video right now, go ahead and let me know in the comment section below so I can go ahead and just answer your questions there, because I do my best to try to think of all the questions that you guys might ask, but sometimes I forget, you know, I'm human. Let me go ahead and just open up Photoshop now. And you can see that this shot right here is not exactly how that shot looked like in Lightroom. I did do a couple of different things, but I did those edits on my laptop and I couldn't find my charger. So I'm gonna go ahead and just explain a little bit about how I edited this shot. One thing that I did do was add a little bit of select exposure around her. So I kind of just brought her out a little bit more into the, you know, made her pop a little bit more. And also I made the eyes a little bit brighter, and I also made it a little bit more warmth and added the bump in the colors. I always do that to my shots. I always bring out the colors a bit more because I like that saturation. So that's pretty much what I did to this shot. I added that brightness, I made her eyes pop out a little bit more, and I made the colors more rich. So that's what I did so far. But like I mentioned before, I wanted it to be a little bit more on the left side. I wanted a little bit more shot on that left side. And that's why I took that next shot. But in here, I'm missing some of the left side of the shot. So I just went ahead and exported that previous shot that I took before that I thought I was gonna edit first, and I added it to this one. So you can, if you guys wanna see how it looks like by itself, it's right there. So this is the shot, and this shot and that previous shot merged together. I just kind of just blended it a little bit. And I intentionally try to keep the focus exactly the same so that it can blend a lot better. If you shift the focus and try to merge two shots together, it's not gonna work as well as if you didn't mess with the focus at all. So that's what I did first. I added more of that background, or to the side there. I went ahead and got rid of some of the stuff on top that I felt like it was distracting. I usually try to think as much as possible about things that are distracting me in the shot. So I felt like this little area on the cactus above, that was distracting, and some of this dark area on the top was also distracting. So I removed them using the clone stamp and the healing patch, the patch tool. And I went ahead and added some dodge and burn as well. So you guys are gonna see the big effect of dodge and burn right here. So this is without anything. This is with the dodge, and this is with the burn. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take the effect off and put it back on, so you guys can see exactly what I do, or what I did. I always do dodge and burn because it just gives that photo a little bit more pop and that depth, and I love it. In a nutshell, all you do is just bring out the brightness of the bright areas and add some darkness to the dark areas, and it just gives that more contrast, that selective contrast that I really, really like. I added a levels adjustment layer, and that again, that does two things. It makes the colors richer, and it gives a little bit more contrast, and I really like that look. So I always use the levels adjustment layer. I added a little bit more brightness to the entire shot overall because I felt like it could be a little bit brighter, and that would look like really nice. And then I added a little bit of darkness, I think, to her hat, because I felt like it was a little too bright, so I made it a little bit darker. I did a little bit of frequency separation. Let me just kind of just zoom in a bit so you guys can see exactly what I did. Let's see, a little bit more. It's honestly very, very subtle, so you have to really, really squint your eyes and look. Let me put it at 100%. It's very, very subtle. So yeah, it's very, very subtle. Let me just zoom back out now. And I think I did a little bit to the top here. I'm not sure exactly what this layer is doing, but let's skip to the next thing. I made the legs a little bit brighter. I altered the color just a little bit of the legs, and I got rid of that hair and a little bit of the jacket on the side there because I felt like it was distracting at the end of the edit. This right here is to help with not frequency separation, but dodge and burn. So with dodge and burn, I'm kind of just brightening in the skin. There's gonna be like little blemishes that are darker or brighter. And using this layer of black and white, I always alter the level of it. See, I always alter like some of these reds to be darker to make the image like this, in other words, and it really highlights those blemishes in the skin. So it helps with dodge and burn, so that I can just remove them a lot easier. I can identify them better, so I can just remove them better. So I always have a help layer of black and white, and that's pretty much the edit. And I think that's it. All right, guys, if you enjoyed that video, let me know by hitting like on the video, commenting with your thoughts as well. And let me know exactly how I can improve in future videos. You know, maybe I can do a little bit more editing. You guys want to see a full editing tutorial on this image? Let me know as well. Also give the video a like. All this positive feedback will help me know. But yeah, if you guys like the video, let me know. Comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.